Testing 1, 2. Welcome to Facts, Not Fiction. Of course, I want to welcome all our viewers regionally, locally, internationally. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, I think today again we had a couple more murders, and I think that we are well above the number of days. And of course, as you would know, this is simply because we continue to have the wrong people sitting in the right places. We have seen that our Minister of National Security, our Prime Minister, and all those who sit at the helm of governance in our society today, it seems as though that the country continues to run on autopilot, and wherever the plane go, it go. Wherever the plane land, it land. Whatever happen. And of course, we will continue as normal to blame him and her, she and he, you and me. And that's all. While the citizens seems to be getting accustomed on a daily basis to what is happening in our country, whether it be home invasion, whether it be murders, whether it be robberies, whether it be bad roads, potholes, bad bridges, high cost of living, high fuel prices, inflation is up, unemployment is up. Matters not. It seems as people just continue to adjust to every situation that occurs in our society. And until, ladies and gentlemen, the people of this country, as I often say, until the people of this country decides to get serious and to put a handle on things, this is what we will continue. This is what will continue to happen. I want to remind you that Sunday, the Congress, the UNC Congress will be this coming Sunday. And of course, not only you are invited, but I trust and hope that the delegates, that they are ready. I trust and hope that the constituency executives, that they are ready. Councillors, aldermen, MPs, NATEX, well-wishers, I hope that you are ready for Sunday. Sunday down in Couva.
So, good night, Victor. How would a good showing help us that is in distress and oppressed by Rowley? Could you give the listening audience outside there why attending the Congress could be a step towards relieving oppression?
Well, from where I sit, Archie, I don't want this just to be a good showing, but I want this to be an ideal opportunity where people would be informed and that people would be encouraged.
But the thing would be carried live. So then if it is information, then attending is not important because they will still get the information.
Say again, if it will be carried?
Well, it will be carried live. I know, as a matter of fact, I saw an advertisement that the leader's address would be live.
Right, from about
So
4.
the question I had asked initially is, why would us, members of the public who are feeling oppressed by the Keith Rowley regime, how attending that Congress would help?
Right, so as I said, Archie, from where I sit, I believe the people coming out in their numbers, it will of course be an indicator to the government that the people of the country have had enough with this situation and that they have shown their disgust by being present, one, and also where they would be able to be informed. And I know for a fact that resolutions would be passed on that day. And it is very important, it is very, very important, because to the end of the day, if we continue to remain dormant and sit at home and just accept all that is happening and we just, as usual, sit down and relax in our hammocks and our recliners and in our verandas, and not showing that force that we intend to allow change to come to the country, then we just wasting time.
Right, so that I know the answer. I was just trying to, because you see, when I sit here and listen to you, very often, you admonish the public that they're not doing enough, enough, right? Now, the last show I said, someone has to take a lead for us to be able to follow, because the average housewife or small man working outside there, him by himself cannot really effect any pressure onto the government. So I know, let us say at this UNC Congress, which is the official Congress of the opposition to the government, let us say by some chance 50,000 people come out there. That will send a very strong message that, hey, the opposition is strong. Rowley, look out. And it is a first step. So anytime you buffing the people, this is an opportunity for them. So let's say we go there and it only have about 300 people in the Congress. Then your buffing would be justified, because really and truly, this is what I was talking about. Someone providing a platform. So like if you had your march, if your march was allowed to come off, right? And these people that we have been asking to come out and show their displeasure and their disgust with the government, if we didn't get, let's just say, your aim was 30,000, but I know 30,000 was the aim for the crowd in Woodford Square.
Yeah.
Right? But you was looking for about 3,000 people marching.
Build up.
Right? And by the time we reach close to Port of Spain, that march would be about 4,000. So there's you providing this platform I am talking about, because it's not, you sit down and we say, people allow Rowley to do this and they allow Rowley to do that. If Rowley put Miss Garcia as president, the average normal man in his home could hardly effect anything.
Right.
I mean, a small man could be used as straw by a lawyer for judicial review. But at the end of the day, the average normal person sitting home really looking for a champion to lead a struggle. No struggle, nowhere, no part of the world. It's just a spontaneous uprising. It starts with a little nucleus. And I know, Roberts, you must be commended, because very often I could recall some of your struggles, like the walk from Erin all the way to Port of Spain. I really thought you was bluffing, you know. I went down, I was following you, but I thought you was going to do like the other people who, I remember it had a march from Cedras to Port of Spain, but it was just in little parts, and then they will skip out miles and start back in San Fernando, and then skip out miles and start back in but you walk the walk, and where you stop, you restarted. That is one. The fast in front of the Hall of Justice was for almost a whole week. Yeah. Right? So you provided a little platform, and I know you have a lot of plans in the future. And one of your plans is you're taking this show on the road. Right? So there you providing that platform. And then, if I am seeing people not following and taking advantage of these opportunities that you are providing, then I will sit down here comfortably and hear you tell the people like how you tell them. They're sitting back and allowing Rowley. Right?
Do what they want.
And then we had to take what we want. If they invade the home, we had to take it, because we sat by and say nothing.
Correct. And actually, added to that, I often hear people speak about failure. And I often hear people express concern about that failed, this failed, the other failed. But failure is what you consider to be failure. When you look at every form of revolution, and I'm talking about every form, it started off, first of all, with a thought. That is where it started. It started in the mind with a thought. And when it starts with a thought in the mind of an individual who intends to bring about that change from whatever the situation may be, then you start to work towards that by making preparations to fulfill that thought. And you will start to share that idea and that vision with others. And it can simply be, for instance, I think we deserve better in this country. I believe that what is going on in this country is draconian, it is unlawful, it is oppressive, and then people would start to listen. So what I'm saying is that the message is of utmost importance. The message that you send to the people, it is of utmost importance. But be that as it may, when this started to germinate in the minds of the people, resonate in the minds of the people, then people will sit down and probably analyze. And on the first occasion, Archie, you may very well have just a few people. And coming out of that, you continue to persevere while you educate the population, and as you go along, people may very well buy in to the message and to see the need for change.
Well, you know, I have a real problem about educating the public. Because if you want a man to tell you that you ain't getting water, you can't buy any grocery, and you need me to tell you, hey, look, you ain't have water. They're sufficiently educated. What it is, everybody wants somebody to fight their battle, right? They want to sit at their home and say, that is all that march. Look, I'm telling you, there was a platform for people to show their disgust about the selection of presidency, right? It didn't have more than 200 people there. And that thing was publicly publicized that there was going to be a demonstration showing dissatisfaction. We even said that on this show as well. And 200 people come out. So I go allow you to buff the people, right? Because here it is, a platform is being provided, but you just sit back in your home and you allow this man. Now, he will get his way anyway, you know, but you don't leave it for them to be comfortable. You have to make them feel uneasy, right? People have to speak out. And I don't think that people weren't sufficiently educated, because I get real fed up. Fed up even listening to us talk about the dangers of appointing Ms. Kangaloo as president. So people know, they know the powers of the president. So we don't have to educate anybody, right? People just have to do so now and make a small sacrifice, just like what we do, just like what you do. Leave your home quite in Labre to come up here in Marabella to do this show.
Right.
And when a nice, useful platform is provided, like this thing Sunday, it's Sunday evening, right? It is in a big open area. And I am saying, if 40,000 people show up there, although it's a UNC thing, it shows that the UNC have some power and some strength, right? So this is why people have to come out in these things. 200 people, I think much more people there is scared about having Ms. Kangaloo as a president, right? But that's all that came out. So you're quite right when you say that we allow these things to happen, right? So people have to start making that sacrifice, because I am telling you, I watch international news and I see right now in Russia, those mothers of sons that are being killed, they actually protesting. People are taken jail, protesting against Putin. In China, it's the worst protests they have had for over 100 years. These are people that making this sacrifice. They're taking lockup and all these kind of things, right? So, yes, you're right in buffing the people when we provide the opportunity, right? But the real test, boy, the real test I was looking forward to was that march that you was having on that Saturday.
But actually, I want to go down a road a little bit. I'm not going to go too far into that road that are going on. Have we ever stopped and take the time to probably analyze why the people is not coming out? And while you're thinking,
I thinking, you know, I know what you're going to say, that people are not happy with the quality of representation. But I disagree with that. They're not getting all that they want. But what I see UNC MPs, especially them councillors, doing, they are spending what they don't have, including yourself, getting in trouble with your wife all the time, emptying your cupboard. How far could you go with that? And I am fairly satisfied that the UNC representatives make a fair enough effort. Of course, there's always room and people could do more and do more and do more. But it comes a time when people have to get up and help as well, right? And I feel, let's take for example, on Sunday, are you inviting the disgruntled UNC members, like let's say Ms. Ramona Ramdial and Vasan Bharat and the usual crew who are UNC, and those people are UNC, they just vex UNC, and they're looking for something. What is your idea of they attending that? You feel they should attend?
Well, my idea, I think that everybody should attend, but I just want to...
Yes, because this is open to all UNC members and even the public and even disgruntled PNM people. I would like to see some PNM people come in their jersey, take it off, burn it and get on board.
But listen this. When I ask the question, have we stopped to consider why the people not coming out? I am not focusing on UNC per se, because there is a number of other groups that made calls for the people to come out, and yet it was still a handful of people coming out. So I'm not talking, I am speaking general. Have we really looked at why the people not coming out when a call is made, whether by a group, a radio station, the UNC, and anybody else? Have we considered all the facts why people not coming out? And I want to share some with you today, because I sit down and I consider some of the things why people not coming out. And I want to say, first of all, why people not coming out when these calls are made is because people still comfortable. They are still comfortable within the situation, because they still have a little food on the table. They still managing and pay a bill.
Yeah, they're still in that part of the pond.
Right. So they're still comfortable. So you could call, I could call, UNC could call, other groups could call. And the vast majority of individuals, one section are still comfortable. Another section would not come out, even though they see in trouble. They can't pay the bill, they can't pay the rent, they can't buy food, because they are diehard supporters of their party. So they couldn't have food. They couldn't have devices. They couldn't have uniforms. They cannot provide for their children. But yet still, that is we party. So that's another section that you could make any call and they're not coming out. Then we have another section of individuals who just naturally lazy. Despite what happened, the neighbor house on fire, they will stand up and watch it burn and not even form a bucket brigade to assist, to keep that fire from spreading to their houses. They will take out a phone and they will just videotape that fire and then share it on social media and say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, my neighbor lose his house." But they did not lift a finger, a straw, to help put out that fire. That's another group of individuals. Then we have another group of individuals who just have no care, no ambition, no nothing. Monday could be Saturday, Saturday could fall wherever them just school. Once they have a rum to drink, they cool. Once they have a $5 to play a playway mark, they just cool. They don't care about country. They don't even care about their own family. So when you put this whole group of individuals together, and I come into one other group just now, they just dormant, docile, and I go leave out the next D for now. I'll leave it out the next D for now. Then it have a few individuals who would say, whenever a call is made, I coming out. Now within that group, Archie, there may be constraints. There may be some people who live in far and wide and may not have passage to reach to the point to support. There is some support. There is some people who want change. Now, these people who want change is the ideal group of individuals that you have to network to be able to get those individuals at any given time, at any particular area, to start to sow the seed of change, Archie. And the education that is needed for this group of individuals is not that we ain't getting water and the road have a pothole, but the education that is needed with this group of individuals is to be able to strategize. It is to be able to put together strategic planning where we would be able, with the minority, to get a positive results. And this is the form of education that I am speaking about in relation to these protests. For too long, we have people, Archie, who kind of worn out. They kind of tired. They kind of fed up just coming out and standing up by the Red House. They kind of fed up at just coming out and burning a tire by the side of the road. They kind of just fed up and worn out with all of that. And this is where strategy must be implemented. This is where we have to educate these people. We have to get these people. And that is one of the reasons, Archie, why I am saying that we're going to move the program out of the studio. Is to help educate people in terms of what is lawfully and legally available to us in order to harness or to bring about the change that everybody is speaking about, but nobody really wants to activate. So as I said, I want to go down the road, but I don't want to go too far. So I think I go down far enough into that.
Yes, I find your answer was well put across. And based on what you said, I, at this time now, must really take my hats off to those UNC activists that show up in every struggle, every time things are called. You know, we see our MPs organizing a few people, especially them councillors, you know, my partner is real impressed with them councillors. They just come out and they just carry, you know, the weight. So, you know, people really, you know, there is bad talk, UNC and UNC people and things, but you know, we really, as a matter of fact, I remember putting up on my Facebook, the only thing that is standing in the way of dictatorship is the UNC, you know.
Yeah.
And really and truly, I must tip my hats off to those people who are very active in the UNC in trying to organize activities, right? where it could be shown that, there is some little hope coming there for these people. And listen, I feel, if an election is called, Rowley will get some trouble, He will get some trouble because all this work that the UNC have been doing, all those press conferences, all them shows he has been having, boy Victor, you and Anil, right? I always educate the people, and they, as you said, docile, right? But I feel, right, a tsunami will go against this man, because too much evil, bad things is happening, boy, right? And people, ever since I know myself, I have never seen a time. Maybe there was, maybe in the 1970 riots, but I might have been too small. But I have never seen a situation where Trinidadians were so incensed about anything that they came out in any large numbers to show any big dissent, right? It had a little glimmer of something in that pushback thing that I know you had plenty to do with, where people were tear gassed and thing, right? When I was up there in the savannah, I was there, almost get locked up, trying to take away my camera and all kind of thing.
People know that, they don't know that.
Yeah, and I really saw. I didn't see UNC per se, Yeah. I saw angry Trinidadians, right? And the police was just mashing down on them, right? So I am telling you, we just have to keep the faith, keep pushing, keep doing what we're doing. And, we can't be buffing the people up too much, but they must also put some praise on the UNC organization that is standing in the way of dictatorship. We have, I could say we, because I support the United National Congress as it is right now, led by Ms. Bisessa. I think that they have a platform, they have an organization, right, that is capable. And not just capable, they have shown that they have done it before. And she now have the skills, as you had said in one show when I asked you, why Kamala? She is one person who could wake up tomorrow and form a competent government to rescue Trinidad and reverse all these negative indicators in Trinidad.
And actually, I want to open the phone lines because I want to hear people comments, if they would be coming to the Congress. I want to hear how much people they mobilize to come down to the Congress on Sunday, and what area they may be coming from. So we'll open up the lines and give them that opportunity. I don't know if Silver Fox will be coming from Tobago. I don't know if Fox will be coming from Tobago actually to come down in the Congress on Sunday. But we'll open up the phone lines and we'll take some calls. And you will tell us, actually will put the number up for you. And you will tell us. But I know that there is people who want change. And actually, I think you put it down right last week when you made your point that the people looking for that fighter. And let me just fix that scenario. Yes, the people, they are aware of what the UNC is doing. The people are aware that the UNC is standing in the gap between, as you rightly put it, dictatorship and democracy. The people are aware. They are aware. The group of individuals that we speaking of, they also know that the MPs, they are constrained in a particular way as a result of their position and the way in which the Constitution is designed as opposition leader and MPs. There's a limit, there's a line. And while they would not be able to cross that line because of their constraints, their parliamentary constraint, the public is able to cross some lines that they cannot cross. And that is one of the reasons why I am always prepared to take that fight to the streets and to in front the face of the government. Because while I will also be constrained and confined within the precincts of the law, I am able to express much more than those who may be constrained as a result of their parliamentary line. And I know that the people ready, Archie. The people is ready. But the people also want to be assured that the individual who will stand for them, stand with them. We have seen a number of individuals, Archie, from our experience, who would make these calls to get the support of the people on the front line, on the battlefield. And then when things doesn't go as expected, then sometimes you cannot find those who have initiated the call to be in the front line. And in other words, we have seen people make calls. I call it pelt stone and put the hand behind the back, because when anything goes contrary to plan, Armenia doesn't see them. You just want to know where these people disappear. And then, unfortunately, we have never seen people come out and say, look, I am responsible for this protest. I am the leader of this protest. We doesn't see that. That also have some people timid.
Correct.
That have people timid, frightened. Because on a number of occasions, when people come out, people realize that they're standing on their own. Nobody takes responsibility. Nobody come up and say, Officer Dibbers, I, Victor Roberts, is the only person in charge of this protest. And then we will see the people that we call pelting in bus, pelting in van, pelting in car, going down the road, and then you have to depend on the UNC to get a lawyer to help them. And this is something that the people doesn't trust. This is one of the reasons why we having this problem when a call is made. People want the appropriate people to make that call. People want people who they have confidence in to make that call. And
correct.
The people will stand up.
You're correct.
The people will stand up.
You're correct. But I must say, I know of quite a few cases where people were held by police and UNC did provide legal assistance.
Of course.
So I don't recall any case really where the UNC party had left their protesters, if I could call them that, in the rain. I can't recall any.
Neither do I. But I could tell you a number of cases where people call people to protest. And when they get arrested.
Yeah, well, I don't have the armor to say that. You bulletproof.
When they get arrested, then it's the UNC lawyers who have to go and stand up on their behalf. You see, the people that want to come out, Archie, they want to be assured that one guy called in some time ago and he spoke of Victor Roberts, the people willing to come out, but we want to know that the necessary
That is correct. Yes, yes.
paperwork
Last
or
show.
something like
Last
that.
show, yes.
Yeah, somebody had called in that respect. And I
guess that is why you insisted on having a permit in your hand.
exactly.
Right? And when you didn't get the permit in your hand, it wasn't that Victor Roberts backed down, you know. But Victor Roberts, who stay in front and take responsibility, couldn't subject people behind you to be arrested. And this is why you had no other alternative but to call off the march because you did not have a permit in your hand.
Exactly. And that permit, Archie, is not really to protect Victor Roberts, you know. That permit is to protect the hundreds and thousands of individuals who I am calling to come on the streets. So it is my responsibility to ensure that the necessary permit is within my hand to ensure the protection of the people who I call out of their homes to come and walk on the street. That is my responsibility. So somebody tell me today that one of Ken Valley boys say Victor Roberts is a coward, and I tell him, I said, don't worry to them, because I am not as brave as that individual to go and sleep down in the Martin.
To go near Ken Valley.
Yeah, to go down the Martin. I not so brave. I not so brave at all. So somebody call me and say, boy, one of Ken Valley boys say he's a big coward. I say, cool, I good with that, because I am not brave to go and close to Ken Valley. All right, so I will just leave that right there for now. Right, Archie, I ain't going further like that. So it is my responsibility, Archie, if I call people to come out on the streets and protest, to ensure that the people are protected. As a matter of fact, Archie, I have already spent $3,200. I had already paid $3,200 on food to provide for those persons who was coming out on that day.
But you now start to talk.
Well,
I hear a man spend $7,000 just to get a license for the truck.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes,
and
correct.
Then had to get special insurance. Right?
Correct.
But me myself, I had to prepare a special broadcast truck, right? Where I had to get it properly wired. Cameras on the roof in front, right? And had a mobile transmitting TV station to carry that thing live. I had all of that set up and ready to go. That was a big cost.
Right. So we don't want to go too much into it yet. Right? The judge grant us leave, so I don't want to get too much into it. But I just showing that it was not just calling people and say, come out. When I call people out, Archie, I have to make sure that these people, I had food was being provided
and
for.
I understand that your police bill was $12,000. You had what was 4 outriders. What was 12? What was the figure? Why 12 to 1? I forget the amount of constable and sergeant.
Yeah, it was 1128.
I was real plenty police.
Inspector, sergeant, 2 corporal, 8 constable.
Was to protect the people in the march.
And 4 motorcycles.
Yes, so the people in the march would have been well protected and well escorted.
Exactly. So that is the whole thing. So, but the point I am making is that when you call people out to the streets, Archie, you have a responsibility to ensure that these people are provided for, they are protected. There is food, there is water because of the distance, and also, Archie, an ambulance was also there.
Yes, I remember as Dr. Bodo provided an ambulance.
Exactly. So this was a holistic plan. It wasn't a fly-by-night. And this is what I will do going forward. I will give the people the assurance. And Archie, I also had 6 lawyers standby, which was led by Kyle Taklal Singh. 6 lawyers was standby on that day. A matter of fact, some of those lawyers would have been in the march.
To be in front of the march.
Exactly.
Ensure that nobody was taken advantage of.
Exactly. So to the end of the day, responsibility, Archie, it is something that is of utmost importance when you are calling people out on the street. It's not just telling people, come out on the street and march and we go and protest and meet me here and meet me there and meet me there. No, 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 no. You have to understand that you are responsible for the persons that will gather. You have to understand that you are responsible to ensure the safety of the persons that you call out from their homes. You have to ensure that all the necessary, every ounce of precaution, all the necessary things are in place to ensure the safety of those individuals. You must have, as I said before, an ambulance. If while you're walking somebody feels sick, somebody drop down, something happen, that people would be able to get. A matter of fact, we also had a portable medical team. A portable hospital is what we were calling it.
Yeah, I understand. You had a team of doctors that would have been following along.
Exactly.
In the event.
In the event that something happened.
You had about two 24-seater maxis. So if people tired, they...
Actually, we had 4 25-seater maxi and two at the white bus. All those things was in place. So it's not just an ad hoc or a fly by night. We just get up on Monday morning and say, hey, come out and this and that and that. And no, 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 no. I am a responsible individual. And if I call people out from their homes to stand up, I am to ensure that those individuals, a matter of fact, Archie, there is individuals who came down to Palo Seco from as far as Arima. And I provided passage for them to return home, and I also give them the passage that they use to travel to come down the road, Archie. That is the kind of responsibility I am speaking about. And this is the assurance that people need. I know there's people that willing to come out and people that willing to do what they have to do. People call me every day, Mr. Roberts, when would this be happening? When this, when that, when the other? And I give them the assurance to hold on. Have a little bit more patience. We could take the calls, Archie. Welcome, caller.
Well, okay, hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. I saw the TV thing, where the president and the prime minister said they had nothing to do with the police report, right? They didn't do anything wrong. Look at what big people are doing. You could believe that TV thing, all that, you know. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. You have a next call? Yes. Welcome, caller.
Go ahead, caller. 8192, you're on.
Right. So, Archie, we got there?
All right, 8192, you're on still.
Welcome, caller. You might have to cut that person, actually. The person is saying nothing. No, they're probably having some difficulties. Right. Cut?
Yeah.
Right. So the thing about it is not just calling people out. People came out already and found themselves in difficulties. And when they do find themselves in difficulties, it seems as though that there is nobody to stand at the rescue, and people doesn't trust that anymore. Welcome, caller.
Good night, Mr. Victor.
Miss Santa Cruz, good night. Good night.
And
Good
to
night.
everybody out there, I finally catch up with you, Mr. Roberts. I
Yes,
finally
ma'am.
did.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
No. You're asking questions, a lot of questions here this evening.
Mm-hmm.
And I will try to answer some of them for you.
Right.
UNC people are too complacent. Some of them are too lazy. They rather everybody go out there and protest for them. They will get on the radio station.
Yeah.
Where Kamala? Why Kamala ain't calling a protest? Why Kamala ain't leading a protest? How many days we have to be reminding them? This does not affect Kamala alone. It is affecting us.
Correct.
And if it's affecting us enough, we will get out there. Look at that RIC consultation. That should have been loaded with people. Because it has affected everybody across the board.
Correct.
It's not affecting a few UNC people or a few PNM people. No. It's everybody going to be affected by it. But if they were not concerned enough to come out and protest.
Correct.
I was speaking to a friend of mine who I usually go all about with, right? When we go to protest. And he is telling me what sense it making. Because only a few handful going out that rowdy laughing at us. And it's true.
Correct.
It is not making an impact. Look at even the unions. We went out and supported the unions when they shut down Petrotrin. And anytime there's a protest, a pushback or whatever, you never see the union supporting us. I don't know what it is going to take for these people to be fed up enough to say enough is enough and I am going out there. This is not about UNC.
Correct.
This is about, it has affected our lives. And the next thing is, I heard you saying something there about the restriction of some of the MPs and whatever. You see that constitution? The UNC, I'm calling on the UNC to do it. Make it very clear what is the role of the opposition.
Yep.
Because they are saying, oh, they only talking, same thing and they expect different results and whatnot. Right? But it's not so. The opposition has no power to do anything. The most, and I call it what Kamala said, the most that they can do is to talk and use the court. But they want Kamala to come out, call a protest, hit the streets, because if Kamala not coming out, she's not serious, she weak, and they're not going. And you can bet your bottom dollar. If she called one, look at when she called the one at Cuba Children's Hospital. That should have at least 10,000 people out here. We made about 5,000. People in this country are not serious enough. And we have to keep reminding them that voting have consequences. Because they're too complacent, where especially the local general elections are concerned. Oh, we win already. I have to go by the river. I have to feed the goat. I have to wash. I will go later. But I will tell all you something. PNM people don't do that. They go out there and they cast their vote. Whether they like Rowley or they ain't like Rowley, they're going out there and casting their votes in the PNM. And I don't know when UNC people are going to learn. Thanks a lot and have a good evening.
Thank you, Ms. Santa Cruz, for your contribution, and I'm saying that you are quite right. And this is, as I was saying, this is something that jump high, jump low, we just cannot sit down, put our hands in the air and say we surrender. Welcome, caller.
Good night, Mr. Victor.
Good night, sir.
And Mr. Archie.
Good night.
Good night, sir.
I just have fed up to this boy. I dream. Victor, you talk the truth there, sir, with complacent people. we're always trying, we're always fighting. We are coming out to fight 309,000 UNC people. And we, oh gosh, when I call out only 10 and 20 people coming out. And just that. Actually, you know who you're talking, right?
I'm not sure.
Anyway, you're going to know. There's one was outside when Victor wanted to know who parked next to him.
Right. But you could have come to the studio, man.
You know what, I forgot that. But I will contact you next time when I'll come in.
No problem.
Yeah, good night to everybody who are listening and to everybody, right? So, good night.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Kola. And we just can't put our hands in the air and surrender and say, well, look, we're not going to speak anymore because the people not coming out. We're not going to have any more programs, and that is the end of the day. Let Rowley do what he want, and where the chips, let the chips fall where it may. We are not prepared to do that. Welcome, Kola. Welcome, Kola.
Yes, man. Silver Fox here.
Hey, Fox, you're late, boy.
Yes, man. I would like to hear the people first before the Fox.
Go ahead.
So with this, firstly, I support Ms. Camilla to be the political leader because I know what I have and I don't know what I will get if she go at this point in time. And the point is that we're missing a big point. Camilla alone is not opposition. All of us is the opposition, Trinidad. And Philip Alexander, Gary Griffith, they could have come together with Camilla and stand up face to face with Rowley, and Rowley had was to call an election. But they leave all the work for one woman to do, right? Like Joan of Arc. They have to stand up with her and stop trying to political leader which they would not be. Because if they come and they say, Camilla will be bringing out the people on the street, we people use doors, and we're not going home until we hear an election bell ring, that tomorrow is election. All this nonsense will stop. You cannot be talking and feel Rowley will listen. Rowley is not a listening fella. He's a vindictive guy. He would not stop until he got what he wants. And if we stop him, we will be in a total dictatorship where we cannot even get anything done. Right now, you can't even put Rowley to court. You can't put Rowley to court. You can't put none of the ministers to court. No court ethics them. You can put me to court, put Victor to court. And I will tell you something again. When you're in power, don't let no opposition rule you. You let Rowley rule you with Jack Warner, because Rowley afraid Jack Warner. In them time, Jack Warner was very powerful. Come out of FIFA. FIFA business is not ours. FIFA is a government unto their own. Right? Look, Daniel Roberts. And these people will come back and stand up with you. You have to understand that. Stop letting Rowley rule your government. You have to rule it for yourself. Because look, all the whole 22 of them, right now, all forgot to jail. And none of them are facing nothing. Now they put a president into their own part, so all of them could get pardoned. But we have to stop them before she really goes to office. They have to be stopped. If they are stopped, we are nothing. We will turn straw. All opposition and other members of this country, all armed. We are arms fighting, arms of country, arms of the law. We have to get out there. This country is ours. It not belong to Christopher Rowley. Rowley said he didn't want the job, but like he wants so bad that it's us bad and we're not understanding we treat bad. Dog just run away, cat just run away, and we not run away. We standing up to fight back and get back the country how we want it. Rowley, a wicked wicked, wicked Tobagonian, and we have to understand that. We have to fight, have to come out. Carnival, all thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands coming out for carnival. Here's to show the bottom out in the street. And after that, they're going to church and say, they want to redeem their soul from the sin. You know you've been sin, and every day you're going to redeem your soul. You're playing with God, man. Don't play with the Lord. Or you're playing with the Lord. Or Rowley will fall and his state of emergency after carnival because there's COVID all over the place. So you got wrong us, got wrong the UNC. We have to get up now. Now is the time. We don't have much time. We life going. We're not able to talk. We're not Hitler. All of them was bad men. Right? Idi Amin do people so much wickedness. He takes the wife anytime he wants. He gets to finish, get mad, and they get to run him. Right? We will be just like that. We'll be eating bread the devil needs, and I don't want to eat the bread the devil needs. I want to eat the bread God needs. So rather than to get off the slumber, let us get up and fight back. Thank you.
Thank you, Fox. So the number to call, we open the lines, is 3735488. 3735488. We have the lines open. You could call and make your contribution. Welcome, caller.
Archie.
Present.
How are you going, Stone?
General Stone, boy.
Brian Stone, the man
The
himself.
original Atlantic Computers
Stone.
Stone, boy.
How you guys going?
I hope you're not on top of any mountain riding down this hour, you know.
Yeah, boy. I think I'm falling off. I'm taking a rest.
All right. How things?
I just want to congratulate yourself and Mr. Roberts for a fantastic show. I mean, the public has an opportunity here to get the real news, the facts, not fiction.
Yes, sir.
Victor, how are you doing tonight, partner?
I'm good, my brother. I'm good. Fighting, and preparing to fight even harder.
I just wanted to call to just mention a couple of things, fellas. And for good night to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I just want to remind folks, the only party, practical and logical, that can defeat the tyranny of the PNM is the only party that is 2 seats away from victory.
Yes, sir.
And that is the United National Congress. This nonsense
Correct.
that we're hearing about Pep and Philip Alexander and all that, they are empty vessels. Philip does a very good job in raising issues with the government and so forth, but they have no seats, and they won't get any seats. So anyone who is fed up and had enough of this PNM failure, the only option they have is either to vote PNM back in or to vote for the Kamla-led United National Congress.
So
go back into
Pep is
power.
invited Sunday at the UNC Congress then?
Look, here's what I would say. Anybody, and I'm a person that believes in building bridges. Anyone who is against the PNM should be for the UNC, because if you're against the PNM, you have something in common with the United National Congress, and that is to get rid of this failed and chaotic government who cares for nobody but themselves.
Correct.
And I also want to remind folks who is buying into the PNM narrative that, boy, Kamla is a little weak and you're hearing that nonsense. What nonsense is that? Let me give you the evidence, the proof. And people need to understand this. Just think about it. The only reason the People's National Movement canceled the local elections is because their election teams, in reading the people and the power and strength of the rising United National Congress, led by the Kapila Prasad Bissessar, they recognize And they advised the Prime Minister that they were going to get a solid licking.
They was going to get a Tobago.
They was going to get a Tobago in local elections. Else, why would the People's National Movement cancel? If they thought they were going to win the whole elections, they know they was going to get a Tobago. And that is a reflection not only of the United National Congress, the hard workers, Victor Roberts, Archie, and all of us activists and members who support the United National Congress. That is a reflection of the leadership, the strong leadership of Kamla Persad-Bissessar. You know, she's quiet. She's a quiet, respectable lady. She's not a wajang. And people look at that as weakness. But that same weakness they looked at many years ago against the greatest, most powerful country in the world, which was the UK, England, when they looked at Gandhi as a quiet, simple guy, and he defeated the most powerful country in India without firing a shot and without being a wajang. So I have fully support. You see, I support Kamla's, not only Kamla's vision, but Kamla's way of doing things. She is being respectable. And there's a difference between an opposition and a government in waiting. Being statesmanlike as she is, and that is her modus operandi, is a government in waiting. Victor, what is your opinion on that?
Brother Stone, I support what you have said. And I am one of the individuals who always believe that you doesn't always have to fight by making unnecessary noise. And, in the case of this PNM government, I am telling you, my brother, that the faster the people of the country could see the need to have this government removed legally, it is the better the future generation will benefit.
Well, my friend, I was asked, as you all know, I do a lot of analytics, and I look at the science of what's going on and the science of elections and so forth, as opposed to just forming opinions. And I will tell you this, and this is from feedback, and this is from the science of looking at what's happening in Trinidad and Tobago. Between you and me, and I think most people understand that is listening to this program, I can tell you, the PNMites, and I have a lot of friends that happen to be PNMites. They are friends. We are on the different sides of the aisle, but we talk. Right. Because friends are friends. Many of them, if not most of them, they know that the PNM is a failed government. They're not happy. They're fed up too. All we have to, that's half the equation. We have half the equation. All we have to do is settle the other half to demonstrate that the United National Congress, led by the past and probably arguably the most successful Prime Minister, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, and her government, all we have to do and show is, hey, we are the best option. Look at the facts of, and you say facts, not fiction, Victor. The facts of her rule between 2015 and 2020 of what they did for this country in health, education, infrastructure, roads, economy, etc., etc. And if people would just sit down and relax, open their mind, think of their future, think of their kids, and sit down and tick off all the pluses and minuses and UNC versus PNM, and they will see logically the science, the facts that the United National Congress under Kamla Persad-Bissessar between 2015 and 2020, this country was rising.
2010, 2015.
Sorry, 2010, 2015. And recognize this, folks, in 2020, the United National Congress under Kamala Prasad Bissessar, we didn't go into government because of 2,500 votes less. If we had 2,501 votes more, we would have been in government. So 2025, we're looking good. We're looking damn good. We have to work harder. We have to put more infrastructure. Our party need to put more infrastructure, and they're working on it. And for those in the United National Congress and others who say, boy, what's going on? There's a lot of things that we're not talking about, because as soon as we talk about the improvements and what we're going to be putting in, the PNL will want to jump on that. So some things we can't say, but I can tell you in the background, we're moving, we're rising, and the PNM government, I'll close on this, folks, the PNM government recognize that and cancel the local elections. And here's I'll end on this point. Here's the tyranny of that. They have crumbled one of the fundamental pillars of democracy, and that is prevent the right of a citizen to vote. And that is dangerous. Have a good night, folks. Thanks for your time, and all the best, Trinidad and Tobago.
So we'll see on Sunday.
National Congress on the 29th.
Sunday, please, God. Thank you, Brian Stone. And actually, I think Stone made some very, very pertinent points there. That is a big question. Why Rowley cancel the local government election? And of course,
I think Stone was on point there, because we were very well. I was assisting you down in library, and we were really having these non-traditional UNC electoral districts.
What do you mean was assisting me? I understand that.
I'm still there, but what I'm saying is we were ready for that election, and I suspected that PNM would have been in for a surprise in those PNM seats in Labrie.
Of course they would. Welcome, caller.
Good evening, Victor.
El Sicuro in the house.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening.
Good day.
Good night.
Fiction, yeah.
Go ahead, El Sicuro.
Yeah, so I want to make a contribution about some of the narrative going on against Mr. Prasad. So in addition to what Mr. Brian mentioned, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just before I go on, right? Actually, I hear some feedback in the background.
Still?
Right, nice. Right, nice. So basically, I was trying to say that in addition to what Mr. Stone was saying is that people like to say Kamala weak and the party weak and this kind of thing. This narrative, right? There's another narrative going around. I think it was started from the former president Paul Weeks, right? Where she keeps saying this thing about, and a lot of people as well saying that we shouldn't be opposing for opposing's sake. Let me repeat that. We shouldn't be opposing for opposing's sake. So, Victor, I don't understand. So, because we name opposition, we shouldn't be opposing for, or we should or should not be opposing for opposing's sake. And I think Mr. Anthony Vieira and all that clung in the Senate, where he was a PNM senator now, saying that we shouldn't be opposing for opposing's sake. And I can't remember who else was saying it, but there's also part of the narrative that Kamala weak and all this foolishness. What is opposing for opposing's sake? So you're telling me that anything the government do, I take that back, anything the PNM do, we must just ride along with it? We mustn't oppose the appointment of the president. We must kangaroo. We shouldn't criticize the increase in TNTech rates. We shouldn't criticize the removal of the subsidy. We shouldn't criticize the cuts in gates and tertiary education. We shouldn't criticize the condition of the roads. I mean, I don't understand this narrative of what is opposing for opposing's sake, right? Because like people like Leonard Joseph and Angela Kirby and the Heliconia Foundation and the Fat Bamsi Brigade, they keep going on and on with these narratives. They try and pushing it. So, for example, the thing with Kamala weak, and then the thing with they need a sober government in office. They need they shouldn't be opposing for opposing. These narratives that they keep pushing. The one that's going around now is that we shouldn't be opposing for opposing sake. What the hell is opposing for opposing sake, Victor? I don't understand. So if we protest, right, for all range of issues, including the abuse in the children's home, guys, we must go along with that. Guys, we shouldn't be opposing for opposing sake. I don't understand, Victor. Not just that it has a moral, politics has a morality of its own, but this narrative going on and on and on about opposing for opposing sake, Victor. Yeah. I don't understand. I don't get it. They can explain to me. Thank you.
Thank you, El Sikoro. And yes, while the people those who are opposed to the UNC may very well find that the UNC are opposing for opposing sake, then that's a matter for them. Right-thinking citizens in this country, we have seen the number of activities that this government participate in that is not only misbehavior in public office, but it's also contrary to the Constitution. The number of imbroglios and so on that we have experienced by this government. And we will continue to oppose whether people have a problem with it or not.
Well, because Victor, that talk about oppose for opposing sake is rubbish, you know. That's rubbish.
Yeah.
I know there are many times the opposition vote with the government when the bills is good. But you know, what a lot of people don't know is after the debate, they just have where they go through clause by clause. I forget what is that session called. But after they finish the debate, they just go through the bills clause by clause. And if people watch that, you will see the power of the UNC, because very often the UNC is able, because they have a lot more legal experience, a lot more experienced people in the UNC when it comes to legislation. And very often, a lot of the debate, the laws, the wordings are fine-tuned by the opposition, right? So that is not opposing. You see, if the UNC just carte blanche accept everything the government does, then they would not be doing their job. So this rubbish about opposing for opposing sake is rubbish. The opposition have a function. They watch the bills that the government bring, and when there are deficiencies, they have to point it out. And I am telling you, anybody who would say that the UNC oppose for opposing sake is talking a lot of rubbish. Go watch when they do the bill clause by clause, right? Very often, and I have heard times when the government thank the opposition for the contribution and for pointing out the deficiencies in the bill. So after all the bright lights and all the fame and thing, these people pull up their sleeves and they work together as a team, you know. They work together as a team. So this is what is happening. A lot of people don't see that, right?
Added to that, actually, the opposition is also a watchdog. And the opposition must also ensure that the bills that comes to the House, it must be bills that is, one, not draconian in measure, two, in the interest of the population, because remember when the government bring a bill to the parliament, this bill, when it is passed, it will sooner than later becomes law. The opposition, they are the ones who needs to scrutinize every clause of that bill. They have to also ensure that the bill that is brought to the parliament is in sync also with the Constitution, apart from everything else, and that the bill must work in the interest of the population. And when you cannot get that, welcome caller.
Good evening again, Mr. Roberts. Permit me to say something again, please.
You go ahead.
You see, Keith Rowley, as opposition leader, broke a lot of rules and got away with it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? From the emails, come right down. Even when he went after Hammersmith, because Hammersmith didn't do his bidding. All that he said about the man.
Mm-hmm.
And he was one that said that a Senate president should never be acting president.
That was in 2013.
Right. And when he gets into office, he's going to change that. Look at the hypocrisy that we are seeing today.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, people want Mrs. Prasad Pisesa to behave like Keith Rowley. First to begin, she's a kind-hearted, soft-spoken person. She cannot be a wajang.
Mm-hmm.
She cannot break any rules. Because if she only step out of that line, the police is going to hold her. She is not fortunate like Keith Rowley to break all the rules and still breaking it and getting away with it.
Correct.
But you know what? We have to believe in a higher power. But while we rowing, we praying. We can't just sit home and pray and expect to get answers. Because and this nonsense about the opposition opposing for opposing sake, no. And you want to put it nicely here. But here the new war cry now of the PNMI. Philip Alexander will make a better opposition leader because he will support the government. Because you see, right away now, they feel that Philip Alexander is a pushover. Thanks a lot, and again, have a good night.
Thank you, Ms. Santa Cruz. And actually, as Ms. Santa Cruz raised that topic with the police will very well arrest the leader of the opposition if she step outside. I want to make mention of something, Archie, and I think you should take note of it. There is, let me back up a little bit. Actually, before the holidays, there were several roadblocks when the road gave away in Quarry. Remember that, Archie? I sent you some photos.
Correct. I had to make all kind of detours to reach Labray.
Right. Out of that, Archie, because of the failure of Rohan Sinanan and the government to do anything, there were a number of roadblock activities down in the Palo Seco area, in Quarry area. That was before the holidays. 2 weeks ago, Archie, a police acting inspector who is attached to the gang unit by the name of Cape came to the Rancho Comado area. There is a young fella who was arrested by one of the roadblock, and he was charged for obscene language and resisting arrest by the Southwestern Police. Let me tell you how the PNM and the PNM Police will stop at nothing. This gentleman, who I know very well, Archie, came down last week Tuesday in Rancho Quemado and gone by one of the same individual who was arrested by Southwestern Police, Archie, and asked the young boy to give him a statement to say, actually we'll take that call just now, to say Victor Roberts instructed him to block the road, and he is a part of the gang that Victor Roberts lead in the Southwestern area. Listen what I put in on record here tonight. That policeman, Cape, who I know very well, from the anti-gang unit, came down to Rancho last week, Tuesday evening, and asking this young boy who was charged by Southwestern Police to give him a statement and lie to say that I give him instructions to block the road and that he is a part of a gang that I, Victor Roberts, leading, and he follow my instruction. Well, the boy uncle Archie get involved and say, sir, we know Victor Roberts. And you see that, what you talking about gang and gang, we know Victor Roberts involved in standing up for the people and raising the issues. So we not going to participate in that. Go somewhere else with that. And that is how the information came to me, Archie. The people came and looked for me.
Hello, good night.
To give me the information. Welcome, caller.
Hello. Good night. This is Kyle Taklal, Senior Attorney at Law.
How are you, sir?
I am good. I'm very good. I am just calling to tell you that interesting show, great show, and we'll leave that conversation for another time. Right? We don't comment on active police, etc. Okay?
Okay, sir. Very well taken.
All right. Good.
Very well taken. Archie, you see,
yes, you see what I was telling you? UNC don't leave you in the open. They always look after your interests.
So, your attorney, Mr. Robert, your attorney at law is 24/7, 24/7 to protect you, right? Yes, you didn't do anything wrong, but I feel like you might have gone a little further than you should, right?
Okay, very well.
All right, brother.
So hear this before you go. Hear this before you go, my brother.
I am here. Tell me.
I need to have you on the show as soon as possible.
We come in Friday.
Right. To deal with that, conquer that matter with the government. Okay?
Yes. I need to tell your viewers, everybody has to come out and support that Concordat issue.
Right.
It is a government direct assault on the education of our children. Everybody knows that the denominational schools provide quality education to children in this country, and there is no good reason why the government should be attacking the Concordat, a system that works. There's no good reason why the government should be attacking the denominational schools. There's no good reason, and you'll forgive me for saying it, there's no good reason why the government should be attacking Mahasaba schools especially. Okay? There's no good reason. These schools do well. We've seen government schools excel in culture, in PAN, as recently as in PAN, in scholarships, in sports, in everything. So there's no good reason. What the government needs to do is figure out what the denominational schools are doing to deliver quality education and emulate that, not attempt to bring down denominational schools. Right? That would be my position, and I want to explain the history of the Concordat to the population, the misconceptions that a lot of the population has on the Concordat, right? And the legal ramifications when if the government is allowed to get away with what they're trying to do.
Beautiful.
Yeah?
Beautiful.
All right, good.
Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Thank you very much, my brother.
Listen, your conversation was good enough. I just said I'm a call in case it was going a little further.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I ain't going further. Actually, I ain't going further.
I was bracing taking the call, but I saw this person keep calling while you were speaking. I say, look.
You don't want me to go further than how I reach. Yeah. So actually, the PNM police, that is the reality in this country, actually. That is the reality. So when the callers speak about arresting the opposition leader and so on, I think something still on actually cut them off. Oh, sorry. Welcome, caller.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Robert.
Yes, sir. Good day.
I just want to raise a point.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
A lot of people feel democracy is built in a chicken and chips box out a windy city road. Right? they don't really get the understanding that these things is exactly what Mr. Singh just called about. How your children get educated. And it goes from that right down to food prices.
Yeah.
Now the call for people, we're not supposed to be calling people to protest. Because things are as bad as it is, and they're supposed to know that.
Right.
They want to pay more electric bill. Food prices are out of control. And there are other countries on this planet that has caused enough chaos for less than what is going on in Trinidad.
Correct.
Right? So people thinking that the protest or standing up for your rights is about you. It's not about UNC. It's about you and your home and your pockets. And your personal life and the rights you will have, the kind of education your children will get, if they get any at all, and the kind of health service you will get if you get a bad injection, and you need to take that compensation. All these things come under democracy, and the laws and rules that want to run a society so that you, the citizen, could enjoy a life. Now, if people will watch foreign news, you see it have Democrats could call for investigation in their own party. Republicans could call for investigation in their own party. We ask man to resign if they find he not up to script. And so on. Not here. Not here anything to do. You're going to make the party look bad. And you have a media to follow that now, to blind the people, to accept the stupidity. I have been begging people, if all you want to send a signal, just don't buy the papers for a week. Just warn, keep your money. You don't have to do nothing. Just keep your money and see what could come out of that. All of us should do that too, but we are buying papers. Right? Because this thing that happened with the cruise ship, very long. People want to look for work on cruise ship. There was a refugee crisis. People just want to get out. You know? They had eaten the hamper, people from miles around to get hamper. And so on. And you have the media to come out with, well, things good. Amen. Well, Mr. Roberts, blessed evening to you and Archie.
Thank you, sir.
You will hear from me again.
Thank you, brother.
Good afternoon.
And actually, the caller raised a good point, which I will touch on another time, and it is being able to investigate things within your own party, whether it's PNM, UNC, or any party, a matter of fact. Welcome, caller.
Good night, Comrade Archie and Comrade Victor.
Good night, sir.
Good night.
Archie, is he you?
Yeah.
I already hearing you, but see what's going on. I hear you sign a deal, and it gets through big time. Because there's always talk about the gas deal in the Dragon field. So here what's going on now. It is bad to the United States, but today I see you apologizes subtle and nice. Because your boy, Maduro, will give him the gas to sell for him legally, and then he will give him now goods and services to get his villa. So who's going to benefit from that? But just 2 days ago, he went and tell his supporters of them who say they're stupid. Hard times ahead, because very plenty money coming in now. And when plenty money that come in 2015, he said, cannot thief, and the narrative goes. So 7 years down the road now, they get to realize that they're all strong. But what I tell you, the UNC diaspora, they like everything to be in the doorstep. They want modernization, but they don't want to get up and get. That's why researchers and medical doctors say that obesity and the pandemic of sugar diabetes is very high among the East Indian diaspora because they're vulnerable. And when that is a sickness, they suck. So when you see now the 22 ministers of government get the way now to sell everything, and the police, they don't worry,
McDonald's going on holiday, but he's coming back as commissioner. And yes, come on, Victor, that is how the world operates. The narrative is to hush up, and the people who talking about my political leader is very weak. They are so blinded, and the bad example of the education system at the PNN, they don't know better. Because right now is our UNC political leader, when Stuart Young, they say treason on the book and the Constitution for when they talk bad against the government. Yeah? Everybody forget that when they're now coming forward to hush up people and intimidate. But they forget that Farouk Awari wanted to move the freedom of information to 120 days, and the minister will have the power to give the authorization. But you see, Trinidadians know exactly what is happening right now. Because the little dollar they get to go around, it seems like plenty. That is why all of them know if they see KFC sales drop, and more you have to work to get. Because the Christmas season gone, Petrochemical they take it up temporary and casual work again. And the kind of money they're making, and which is to give to the people and the supporters through goods and services, pension, education, they are stifling it. And the people without common sense who will push the narrative on social media that our political leaders are weak. We want to ask them, why does Kid Rowley have to retract, right? And sell Warner out, right? The one in Tobago. And Kabadachi, you're talking about the standing order or the parliament committee on these bills. There's go through clause by clause, just like how the finance committee does be. The parliament does meet in recess, and they follow the parliamentary they go through the clause and do the amendment. And the nice thing about it is Rowley that week, because 3 days of election and you only get 9,000 votes. Have a nice night.
Thank you, caller.
Yeah.
So actually,
that caller had a whole speech starting from one end to the next.
Yeah. So actually, the PNM police will not give up in this country. But that will not deter me. And I am saying that it must not deter the right-thinking citizens in this country. We must stand up for what is right, no matter what is the consequence. That is my position, you know. My position is as clear as crystal daylight. So they could go and try to fabricate who in gang and who in gang member, because you see, I know what happened. I know what's going on in Oachi. I know exactly what's going on. You understand? So all the fabrication that they want to fabricate, they could do what they want. Whatever they want to do, they'll go ahead and do, because here what I'm sure about. You could do as much as you want, but not as long as you want. That is what I'm sure about. All right, actually, I see it's 8 past 8.
Yeah. Well.
So let's take this call. Welcome, caller.
Yes, it's me again. Just an important point I want people to get awareness of.
Mm-hmm.
I originally is from the Arima Dabadi Omera. All right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what happened? This is the power of the EBC. When I was going to school long time, you used to take a taxi by the Arima Velodrome around that area to reach Dabadi Omera down the eastern main road. You go in Red Hill, Dabadi, right? And Dabadi is before Aruka, right? Now, here it is. Dabadi, because that is how the Omera Dabadi come out. Dabadi on the eastern main road, now reach to Puna Road, past Larry Home Stadium. Nobody here talk about it. You understand?
Yeah.
That was a place exclusive from there. You had to take a taxi Larima to go Dabadi. And now Dabadi reach Tumpuna Road, and they had an office and thing up there, and you could see Dabadi Omera. Office on Tumpuna Road, past Larry Home Stadium. So this is the power that the EBC have. If people don't get a handle on this nonsense, this stupidity, this rigging, this dotishness. All of this part of democracy. I just wanted to raise that point.
Thank you very much, caller. For
very good point.
Yeah,
very
thank
good
you
point.
very much.
And you know something? What that caller spoke about, I think it needs a sensitization.
You cut them off, Archie?
Off there now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a very good point, you know, because you see, we keep trying to beat the PNM in their game. And what we need to let the population know, you see, he spoke something there about that Dabadi O'Meara seat. My partner Karim, there's do an analysis of La Hoqueta Talparo. And he said that thing do all kind of acrobatic flips and gone across the highway and gone wrong corner. The way the EBC cutting these boundaries is as if, and we saw them trying to do it in Tobago, you know.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things analysts be saying, that here what? The EBC could do whatever acrobats they want. When the people get fed up, they're going to vote them out. And that is what Stone was talking about. That somehow the PNM smelled the rat that they was going to get a good cocktail in that election. So right now they have the EBC gerrymandering the boundaries where they could hold on to some of those corporations because they probably felt that San Fernando was in jeopardy, Arima might have been in jeopardy, right? So that is we need to, like I heard the political leader saying something like there's some kind of 240,000 people in Tunapuna to make a corporation, and then there's 10,000 people in Point Fortin to make a corporation. And you know these corporations get equal amount of money? Something is wrong. Does the population know that? Has the population ever saw how La Hoqueta Talparo has been gerrymandered to make a seat winnable by the PNM?
Actually, they don't get same money, you know. Every PNM corporation, according to my information, does get much more money.
Well, look at that. So
Yeah,
10,000
much more
people
money.
getting more money than a corporation like, let me say, Cuva Talparo, that is one of the largest corporations, getting less money, right? And they have over 200,000 people, as opposed to a corporation like Point Fortin that have 10,000 people. It has some seats in Point Fortin, only have 300 people.
Actually, you feel this government care about, you feel this government really care about people? Let people sit down in the little cozy corner and feel that everything going to be all right. Just because Rowley say, Rowley tell us, I want to go there now. Rowley tell us in 2022 that money going to be spent in 2023, better days are coming, your sacrifice. Now a couple of days ago, you know what he tell them? Prepare for hard times. But we will deal with that on our next show. Prepare for hard times. So it shows you that it's not only a lying government we have in power, but they does also forget the lie they tell just a couple of days ago. That is how sad it is. So actually, I think we'll leave it here for tonight.
All right. I know we're doing some negotiations as to where we
right.
Tomorrow,
tomorrow, please God, I should have the information on which way we going. So we will announce that by, probably we'll do some add on social media and send it out so the people know where we will be on Friday.
Right, and I know one of your main topics, apart from mobilizing to get that 20,000 at Cuva South car park on Sunday, we will be specializing that discussion on the Concordat, and I understand you may have some special guests that would enlighten and educate the public.
Right. I also want to invite MP Rustan Pari, because I learned that he attended the energy conference that they had, I think 2 or 3 days, 2 days ago, yesterday and today, or somewhere around there. So I think we need...
I think it might be interesting to hear what transpired there.
And then we hear about the Dragon Field might be operational, although I was looking at some information, and while it sounds good now, it may not be until the next 3-4 years. But when the experts who went into that conference and so on, so we will try to get some information. I don't know if we have anything planned for Thursday. If Thursday is a free day, I may probably try to get onto that MP and see if we could do that Thursday, that energy conference on Thursday.
Okay.
So I'll make some calls and see if that could work out. If that could work out, then we will ask him, we'll have him here on Tuesday to give us the synopsis as to what took place there, what is the way forward. And because we heard Rowley said just a couple of days ago that we only have oil and gas for the next 8, 9, or 10 years, somewhere thereabout. So we will see what happened in that conference, and we will try to get all that information out to the public. So I'll try to contact MP Paris very soon, probably tonight, and we could see if we could work that out for Tuesday. What about Douglas Politics for tomorrow night?
Right, Douglas Politics is on tomorrow at 7:30.
Right, so we have any midweek conference coming up?
Usually we have midweek conference on Wednesday or Thursday. We have none planned for tomorrow, so I'm expecting it to be on Thursday at 11:30.
All right. So, folks, there we have it. Douglas Politics tomorrow at 7:30 with none other than Senator Arnold Roberts. I will try to have Rustan Parry on the show Thursday. He have attended the energy conference, and we will try to get some information as to what happened. We heard Rowley said recently that we have gas for about 10 years again. We also hearing about a new development with the Jagan field. So we'll get into all that once the MP is available. We'll get into that discussion on Thursday, and then we will let you know on Thursday where we will be Friday, because we will be taking facts not fiction to the streets, and we will inform you. We will be going from throughout east, west, north, and south. So we will tell you where we will be starting tomorrow, please God. We were hoping to start down at Cedrus and work our way up, but everything is yet to confirm, so we'll give you a feedback as to how we're moving forward with that. So without any further ado, good night and have a good day.
I have a political cemetery. It's not for people like you and me. It is for all them politicians, and I dig in their grave, no fuck with me hand. I find some of them, they living too long, and every 5 years is the same old song. Some of them dead, just shame to lie down, so I prepare for them a burial ground. Rowley, my first grave for he, with joy in my heart, put him down with glee. All of them useless politicians, only making up numbers in my island. Al-Rari, I refuse body, I leave them Muslim, them to deal with he. Big smile on my face and with maybe a hand. It's time to move trash from out of this land. Him but I taking my time with he. I personally will prepare his body. Make sure he have a sardonic grin on his face. That's all he does do, that man is a waste. Bury he in the back of my cemetery. Turn he upside down, he face I can see. Look for the strongest grave digger to cover he. Not with the hand, put good fork on he. Gypsy, political grasshopper, I may feel little pity cause he's my brother. But like Tarzan, he's swinging from vine to vine. It's time I help he to make up his mind. Fitzgerald, Rasta City, I know they go glad to get the body. Resi unbeat, I'm done for all to see. Drink 2 beers and watch Coco get happy. I don't care all who go vex with me, but Kamala I not ready to bury. She is a strong, determined woman like me, and deserve a chance to run this country. When she in power, I don't go hungry, and Calypsonian does get big. big money. She don't deserve no spot in my cemetery. I putting she in the center of the city. Paula, you too damn lazy. You sit on a throne while women die daily. You deserve a nice spot in my cemetery. All you do is just collect big salary. Regis, you disappoint me with your racial tongue. You like you can't see. Your barber does trim you with weed waka. All day all you do is Sushila. With you when PNM lost. One day you must come bust a line with me. We gon' knock a glass, make myself happy. I yardy that what you is to me. A grassroots man stand up for country. I will stand